On Sunday night, All Elite Wrestling head to Chicago, Illinois for the 4th annual All Out pay-per-view. The show will see 7 championship belts up for grabs, including the interim AEW Women's World title, whilst hometown hero CM Punk looks to regain the AEW World title after losing to Jon Moxley in just 3 minutes last week. So let's run through who I think will be the winners and losers on the night as we take a look at my AEW All Out 2022 predictions. And be sure to let me know yours in the comments down below, and if you get them all right, I'll shout you out in Monday's news video. Before we get to the main show then, let's look at the 3 pre-show matches that have been confirmed thus far, beginning with the second ever bout between Eddie Kingston and Tomohiro Ishii of New Japan Pro Wrestling. The two have met one-on-one in the past at the NJPW Capital Collision show from Washington DC on May 14th. That time around it was Ishii that walked away with the win in his home promotion, making me think the records will be evened with Kingston leaving as the victor. Next, it's time for the first championship match of the night as Pac puts his All-Atlantic title on the line against the returning Kip Sabian. Last week, he would finally unbox himself in an attack on Pac during the quarterfinals of the AEW Trios title tournament, aiding the United Empire's win over the Death Triangle. I can see him winning the All-Atlantic title, something that's essential as to avoid his return falling flat. With that said, it is a coin toss at this point. And in the final match of the pre-show, FTW champion Hook will defend his title against Angelo Parker of the Jericho Appreciation Society, who looks to add some gold to the faction. Over recent weeks, Angelo has demanded a match with the cold-hearted Handsome Devil, and now he gets his wish. As for a result, it's hard to look past Hook for this one, who is currently undefeated during his time in AEW. I can't see that ending anytime soon, so I predict Hook to earn his 13th All Elite Wrestling victory. Now it's time for the main show, starting with the 6-man tag match involving Sting, Darby Allin, and Miro, who face off with Malachi Black, Brody King, and Buddy Matthews of the House of Black. We can expect Julia Hart to be at ringside to support the house, so it's possible that Miro could bring his wife CJ Perry, his former manager Lana in WWE, to even the odds, with CJ running down Julia in recent interviews online. So I'll throw that in for a bonus point, but as for a winner, I'll go with the babyface team of Sting, Darby, and Miro, thanks to a CJ assist. And speaking of 6-man tag action, let's take a look at the second trios match of the night as ROH, IWGP, and AAA Tag Team Champions FTR team with AEW TNT Champion Wardlow to take on Jay Lethal and Impact Wrestling's Motor City Machine Guns, who are set to make their AEW debut. We'll keep this one short as I can't see 2 Impact stars coming in to beat 3 of AEW's hottest acts, so I think FTR and Wardlow will manage to score the win, likely via a powerbomb symphony from the big man. Now let's go to the third and final trios bout of the night with the match to crown the inaugural AEW Trios champion. Whilst one finalist is yet to be officially named as of this recording, I think it's safe to assume that the Dark Order will overcome the Best Friends this week on Rampage, meaning we're predicting between them and the Elite. Interestingly, the Dark Order will be joined by Hangman Page as their third man after Preston Vance and Evil Uno have been ruled out, with Hangman set to battle his former Elite friends Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. It's a tough one to call with it possibly going either way, but there is one thing that sways my decision, and that's Tony Khan's claims that he was waiting for Kenny to return before introducing the trio's belts. Therefore, I'll go with a win for the Elite, ending in a potential embrace between both teams. Now let's look at a singles match, this time between 2 former world champions, Bryan Danielson and Chris Jericho. Daniel Garcia has found himself caught between the 2 opponents, with the Jericho Appreciation Society member also having his appreciation for the American Dragon, with the 2 men having a mutual respect after a recent series of matches. It's probable that Garcia will play a part in the match in some capacity, with this playing a part in my predictions. I feel that Garcia will see the error in his ways, becoming a professional wrestler instead of a sports entertainer, blocking Jericho from cheating, ultimately helping Danielson score the win, and also joining the Blackpool Combat Club at the same time. Next up, Ricky Starks is set to take on the man that turned his back on him, Powerhouse Hobbs, with both men being former members of Team Taz. Starks has impressed on the microphone over recent weeks, playing the role of a babyface perfectly, building both sympathy on himself as well as heat on Hobbs for what he did to him. The story of the match is Ricky's neck, something Hobbs recently targeted, giving the Powerhouse a clear path to victory. Whilst you'd hope the underdog babyface manages to overcome the odds, I think Powerhouse Hobbs needs to leave the show as a dominant heel. Therefore, therefore I'll go with Hobbs for the win in this one. And now we go to another title match with the AEW TBS Championship set to be on the line. The undefeated Jade Cargill will put her belt on the line against Athena, who remains undefeated in singles action during her 3-month run in AEW. It's tough to see anyone beating Cargill at this point, that is unless she moves on to the women's world title picture, with AEW clearly holding her in high regard. With that said, I can see a world where Athena leaves as the champion, with her also having been booked strongly. As for a prediction, I'll play it safe and go with a win for Jade Cargill, whose near 8-month reign could surpass the 1-year mark if things continue as they are. Now things get personal, with Jungle Boy set to take on a former friend and bitter rival, Christian Cage, in singles action. Over recent weeks, Christian has taken several jabs at the passing of Jungle Boy's father, with this feud being filled with shock value. It feels like this storyline is taking Jack to a whole new level in terms of seriousness, not only building him up as a sympathetic babyface, but also adding elements of much needed badassery, if that's a word. In terms of a winner, it has to be Jungle Boy winning this one, with this being the perfect opportunity to pass the torch, helping him on his way to the main event scene where he is bound to end up at some point. Next is another title match with Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland, collectively known as Swerve in Our Glory, set to put their AEW World Tag titles on the line against The Acclaimed. The Acclaimed are currently on quite the run after a recent face turn, with Max Caster sticking to his rap gimmick, something that people have always found entertaining regardless of him being a heel. I would love to see The Acclaimed get a win here, but unless there's some kind of falling out between the current champions, I can't see it happening just yet. If Swerve in Our Glory do lose, they will have the second shortest reign in the belt's 3-year history, so I'll go with a win for Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland in this one. And next we have the Casino Ladder match for a shot at the AEW World Championship, battling it out for the poker chip that hangs high above the ring. The participants this time include ROH World Champion Claudio Castagnoli, his Blackpool Combat Club teammate and ROH Pure Champion Wheeler Yuta, Penta El Zero Miedo, and his brother and tag partner Rey Fenix, whilst Rush and his best friend Andrade El Idolo are also in the field. Dante Martin comes into the match alone, as well as one surprise Joker entrant who will be revealed during the matchup. As for the first prediction of the match, who will the Joker be? Well, we'll have a full rundown of all the candidates on the channel tomorrow, but for now I've got a feeling that it'll be the returning Samoa Joe, who has recently been absent filming for the Twisted Metal series. I think most are predicting MJF to be the one to show up, but I get the feeling that if he is going to be at the show, it will be at the conclusion of the main event, so yeah, let's go with Samoa Joe. And as for a winner, I think it'll be Samoa Joe as well, that's if he does show up. Next up, the interim AEW Women's World Championship will be up for grabs with Toni Storm, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, her friend Jamie Hayter, and Hikaru Shida battling it out for the belt. The field includes 2 former champions, with Baker and Shida having previously held the belt in the past, with the winner being crowned on an interim basis, with the actual champion Thunder Rosa currently out injured. As for who will win, I think the obvious choice would be Toni Storm, who was originally in line for a singles match with Rosa at the pay-per-view, with her also reportedly originally planned to win the belt. So it's an easy one, and I'll go with Storm, unless AEW decide to throw in a curveball. And now it's time for the main event of the evening, as Jon Moxley looks to put his undisputed AEW World Championship on the line against hometown boy CM Punk, who lost the belt just last week. On the most recent episode of Dynamite, Jon Moxley would throw out an open challenge for the pay-per-view, leaving a half-signed contract in the middle of the ring for whoever wanted to take up the offer. This was then picked up by AEW producer Ace Steel, who is the man that trained CM Punk, before convincing his student to sign the contract later in the night. Whilst many have been predicting a heel turn from Punk, it's clear that he will at least be heading into the show as a fan favourite, rallying the Chicago crowd behind him last night. For me, it feels like Moxley winning last week was just to solidify his interim reign as a full one, and now it's time for Punk to win back the gold, overcoming the odds and his injured foot to do so. Perhaps he could even stoop to desperate measures to pull off that heel turn that I'm not sure is happening, maybe with an assist from Ace Steel? Who knows? This won't be the end of the night for Punk, however, as I get the feeling that it's time to finally continue the MJF storyline that we've all been waiting for, as he looks to take the championship hostage as he continues to demand his release from AEW. And what better way to do it than by gunning for Tony Khan's favourite wrestler and handpicked champion, setting up the winter of MJF? Yeah, that works for me. And before you go, make sure you check out the truth behind CM Punk's secret wrestling returns before AEW.